He's he's got stuck down there. Look, you can see him.
I heard you trying to be professional, do your script.
Bit clingy. these brambles are a bit clingy.
Sorry, I'm laughing at your expense there. I could hear you saying a few prayers as you're walking.
Right, sorry about that, I'll try this again. Those brambles are a bit clingy, you see. They don't let you through. There you so. Remember what I said? It closed to passengers in 1930, but it carried on as a goods line until 1980. The last train on this line was worked by a Class 25 diesel, Class 25 142, on Friday, the 8th of February 1980. However, that is Wikipedia, so is it true? Well, we hope so, but wouldn't it be wonderful to think that it was a 25 that worked this line, chugging away with its Sulzer engine that way, and then forever nature just closed the line behind it as it does. Anyway, enough poeticism. Let's crack on.
That's a big word.
Poeticism.
Poeticism.
I once said a little thing once. I said a little piece. It was on the Paul and Rebecca. It was in a video I did with Paul and Rebecca, and I said, and so we carried on. We walked on through vale and valley, across stream and cross fields, and somebody said vales and valleys are the same. And I thought,
yeah,
don't try and be poetic, Martin.
The thing is when you're doing a job like this, your mind's racing ahead to get footage in the future, remembering your script, remembering your lines, and then you've got ad-lib, so it doesn't sound robotic, and then some words come out that you don't realise until you're editing.
Exactly.
And you think, what?
Shit.
Yeah, and then you get the dates wrong. So unless you've got a camera crew and a research crew and a sound crew following you, it is a little bit difficult.
You don't want that. You know, repeatedly get told that you don't want that.
No.
You don't want BBC style, you know.
Yeah.
Not especially on things something like this. Yeah. You know, where you're giving like lots of facts probably, but on this sort of thing,
raw.
Yeah.
Has to be raw.
Yeah.
And that's the nature. That's the nature of doing this, isn't it?
This bridge, Blackie.
This is St Paul's Road, this one.
St Paul's Road with Preston. We're not calling him Marty because it gets too confusing, but he's a Preston lad, so he knows exactly where we are. Now, did we not have a story of people unfortunately falling off these?
The whole purpose of this line originally being built was there was a quarry at the Longridge end called Tootle Heights, a stone quarry. They built a single section. I mean, the concept started in 1836 and the line opened in 1840. It was for goods, it was for the quarry. It wasn't necessarily for passengers, but passengers were travelled along the line, a single line about 6.5 miles going towards Preston. The stone itself was actually used to build Lancaster Town Hall and Bolton Town Hall and Liverpool Docks and Preston Town Hall. The stone was moved around. The canal system was at the bottom, there was nowhere else to go for the railway, so they transported the stone by canal. One of the most interesting parts about this was when it first opened, there was no steam locomotion that was involved. It was done by horse, so they pulled it as a tramway. Can you imagine the weight of a stone that was on the tramway being a terrible amount of weight? I feel very sorry for the horses, but they were really big, strong things. Funny part about it was they were able to get the stone and the passengers on these wagons down the line just by gravity, using a braking system. I mean, that must have been a hair-raising episode to get yourself on one of those. But to come back, it was done by horse as it made its way back towards the quarry. So I bet a few people had some laughs travelling on those wagons. I certainly would have been holding on for dear life. I promised for quite a while that I was going to do Miley Tunnel. I've been asked to do Miley Tunnel for about 12 months, and I thought I could make it quite special by getting a lad from Manchester to come along and enjoy this experience with me. And you probably recognise him. Not only has he been in my tornado video, I've also found him wandering around an abandoned line here in Preston.
Just found me randomly.
Doing his little bit as well. Taking some shots of what's left. The Preston to Longridge line. It's got a lot of history, which I'm going to explain as we're making our way towards the tunnel on this line. And to think it's got so much history, it's got such a story to be told, for it to be left like this, I suppose that's quite indicative of a lot of railways. A lot of the features, abandoned features, doesn't necessarily mean a railway, does it? But that's just the way life is. But you're looking forward to this?
Yeah, I love the fact that there's a track here as well, because a lot of the railways or abandoned railways I've walked on, all the track's always been lifted, so it's quite nice to see a bit of track. Really good.
Good news is, since we came, Martin and I came last time to do a bit of a risk assessment just to check it out, which that vlog will go out later after this one, it was a hell of a lot more overgrown. It looks like some of this has been hacked down. As we're going through, it should be easier because it's that time of the year. But there is talk of using this line, opening it up for the tram system, isn't it, Clarky?
There is, yeah.
The Guild Trans system, and getting this up, but they've got a heck of a job on their hands. But there is visuals, there's still things left to see of the old railway line. As Martin said, we've got the track, we've also got the platform. This was Deepdale Station, which was one of the first stations to be built on the line. Evidence of the platform there, which I'm dying to sit on. The flags on the top are still visible, a lot of them are taken away. But on the other side, where the Longridge bound platform was, it's a lot more difficult to jump on that. But you got a good shot of the platform here.
From the point of view, it's so overgrown. It's November at the minute. I'm quite glad we're doing it now, even though it's cold today, because a lot of the vegetation is dying, and it can be in summer. Just holding this bramble bush back from it. Oh, right in the face. That was my fault. It can be a nightmare, as you've seen. I'll just show you the road ahead. I'll just flick the camera around.
If you see the crew patchwork up there of the brickwork, up there, the crew patchwork there of the brickwork, that's where the station building was. It was only a narrow, small type of building, which brought steps down here. And then there's a patchwork brick built. Can you just see that past the apex on the right hand side? And that potentially was a wooden trestle bridge that was coming down to this platform. And at the back here you can see the brickwork. In fact, I'm going to walk across the tracks.
So the bridge there, up there, well apparently that was where the
So I'm walking up here onto the Longridge bound platform, and we've got broken brick, all sorts of bits and bobs, a lot of rubbish. But there's like an alcove here, which could have been a shelter. It's difficult to show because it's dark, and it's a heck of a mess.
And so somewhere coming off the bridge, I don't know if you can see the bridge just through there. I think a set of wooden steps came down. There's all sorts of evidence here, to be honest with you.
I think this would have been a shelter. It's in the right place. So people were stood here waiting for the train to go to Longridge from Preston. That's quite magic, that. Being able to stand here in the same place. Imagine there's nothing here. No brush, no trees, no bushes. Just waiting patiently, whether it's the summer or the winter, for my train. Listening for it, coming from that end down there. Very fascinating. Very overgrown. Well, I'm wondering if this was a shelter.
Yeah.
If a shelter was built into this recess.
Yeah, maybe.
Looking at evidence of previous stations, and these stations today, they build the recesses for the shelters to be set back a little bit. The platform edge would have only been there. This is all overgrown. The soil is obviously deposited from the mulch of the leaves, which obviously brings the ground level up and undisturbed. But someone's definitely been here since I last came and cleared some of this down.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if this was some sort of recess with a shelter in it, because as I stand here now and turn the camera around, you see that it goes down to the line is there. If any of this is making sense, the line is there, but we think this might have been a shelter. We stood on the edge of the platform now, and then track level down there.
Right, let's go back onto the line, make our way towards the tunnel. But not very often you can get off a platform this easily under these conditions. I'm going to stand on the rail now of the track. It's very difficult to see, it's camouflage, rusty rails with all the brown leaves and trees all behind me, run off in that direction, then run off in that direction. But I'll show you, I'll try and get some shots of this. The station itself, Deepdale Station building, was up here on what is my right hand side, your left hand side. That's where the building was. And then if you see the crude brickwork, patchwork, just at the top of the bridge up there, that I think was a trestle bridge, wooden trestle bridge possibly, that came all the way down to this platform for Longridge. So there's evidence, if you look, there is evidence of what's left. So making our way towards Deepdale Bridge. Quite a grand looking bridge. Beautiful stonework, sandstone with red brick lining underneath. As you can see, it's full of rubbish.
Clark is just telling us all the insulation here, obviously when they've dismantled the railway.
Heavy rogues stripping out cabling.
Rogues, yeah, thieves. So we think thieves have stole the cabling and just left the insulation here. Why would you bother doing that? Why would you do it here? I don't know why you do that. But I love the fact that the tracks are still there.
Now the line adapted first to steam haul trains, what was on the Whit Monday, 1848, and in 1850 they doubled the track, especially from the Deepdale Street terminus. And then the line went off westerly in this direction under Miley Tunnel, which joined itself up with the Preston and Wire Railway. That's quite significant. Obviously, being a foul coast lad, the Preston and Wire Railway goes off to Fleetwood, which was one of the first lines to be built on the foul coast, way before Blackpool North was even thought about. The whole concept of this idea was that Fleetwood was a port, was a dock, and if they could get the quarry stone from Tootle Heights all the way across up to Fleetwood, then they can ship it further afield, which makes double bubble for them. So to get a basic idea of the West Coast main line as it is now, the line came up from Wigan and met at Preston, and Preston Station was called the Central Station. It wasn't even connected to this line ran off towards Fleetwood. It wasn't until shortly after then they then built an extra section of the roadway. You'll see that later with the line run underneath that went into Preston from Maudland's Bank. I'm hoping I get this right. This is your cup of tea, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, bread and butter. Completely at home here.
It's a good job you got a cold actually, because I can smell something really fruity around here.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. But you've been all over it, show, haven't you? You've done really well.
Yeah, we've done a few, yeah. I mean, disused railways, love them, absolutely brilliant. The one that stood out for me was Stanage, incredible. The tunnels and everything,
yeah.
Really amazing place.
Quite a lot going on with that one.
There was so many, just so many aspects to it, because it was obviously the disused lines, the disused tunnels, the canal, and just the whole infrastructure down there, the adits, the shafts. Absolutely incredible place, incredible place.
Yeah.
I've got to admit, with canals, I like it when they're doing something like, you know, when they've done the drained canals and things like that, and you can see how it all works, the lock gates and everything. Canals are lovely, but I'm a bit more into like, how does it work, what the lock gates like.
Yes.
And the big highlight for me this year was actually kayaking into the Bolton Canal a little bit and getting underneath the lock gates in a kayak.
Yeah.
It was so intimidating, but it was so good, so good.
You're not scared of the water?
I was scared.
Yeah.
Oh, I was absolutely scared, but it's just, you know, it's like, you know, you just do it for the thrill, don't you? Hume Locks was amazing.
Oh,
it's so disused.
Yeah.
And the old gates are still there, you know, in a state of disrepair, and there's water coming through, and you're just in this vast man-made canyon almost in a little kayak. I think I've shown that on the video. I have done, yeah.
Where did you get this passion from? Has it always been there as a kid?
I think so, yeah. I think I had round the corner from here. I had an old mill that was right next to a canal, and we went on a school trip down there, and I was just fascinated by it. It was incredible. I remember walking along the disused railway when I was about 7 and wondering where it went.
Yeah.
It was in the area, so it was. Where does it go?
Yeah,
where does this line go? What does it do? You know.
It's interesting because it's when we were kids and we grew up in the Claremont area of Blackpool by the railway line where Devonshire Old Bridge is, there's a big mound, and when they were doing the upgrade electrification, we then found out there was actually an old subway walkway that went all the way under to the abattoir side. Local people know this. They filled it in now. But as kids, if we'd known that, we'd be digging, you know, and going for it. It'd be like the Goonies reenacted. And when I spoke to you on the phone, and I was asking, you know, a similar question, I remember you saying that it's like playing out.
We're playing out now, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like we're of a certain age, and we're playing out. We look better.
We look better.
We look like we've got the gear on, but
we're doing it, I think, suppose, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, it's more appreciating what's hidden, the beauty, the architecture, the history, the people who are involved. It's not just about the trains.
There's obviously from being a kid, there's another dimension to it now, isn't it? As an adult, you appreciate the history of it, but it is playing out for adults. It's incredible, this, isn't it?
More respectful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Leave footprints. Take photos.
I like that. I like that. That's very good, though. Spot on.
Definitely.
That's the golden rule, isn't it? And I wore it once for the mines and thought I'll probably never wear that boiler suit again.
I was hoping it'd be a little bit less overgrown, not too bad. When Clarky and I came down here last time, it's just very wet now. You get your money's worth here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you been to locations that are a lot more difficult?
Yeah, to be honest with you, Red Bank carried sidings was horrendous. It got the undergrowth just got more dense and more dense. I can't remember when we did it. To the point where you almost couldn't move.
Yeah.
And we got to a point and there was just an old fence there with gaps in it. I shouldn't say that, but there were gaps in the fence.
Breached.
It was breached. And I had to stop filming. I just literally had to stop filming and I shredded my coat to bits. It was horrendous, but brilliant, absolutely brilliant thing to do.
Well, the going gets tough further down here. Once we break through that, it should then get easier.
Right.
But we've still got the railway line to our right hand side. This is the Longridge section going up. And you can just see stone banking. That's not the platform. Deepdale's over there, but that was the stone edge banking that was on the railway line at the time, which you see that today anyway. There is a word for it, I can't remember what word they used for it. Oh, sorry.
Cutting.
Alright then, a cutting. I was trying to think of something really posh to impress people, but if you know, comment below. Alright, we might have to keep distance between each other now, so we're going to get flicked. And it's a good job we got a cold as well, because there's definitely a fruity smell following us.
Is there?
Oh, aye.
Right, so the milepost, which is an idea for the railway people, how far they are up the line. That milepost, I think, has a 1 on it, which suggests it's a mile away from Preston station or a mile up the branch.
Good news is, now we've made it this far with this bridge, but there is our entrance. Someone's been down here since. If you just bend down, you'll see a fence, a metal fence. Oh yeah. Oh, the sewer?
The sewer drain, yeah.
The sewer drain, yeah. We saw that on our vlog, which will go out after this one.
Yeah.
The big pipe running right underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
Well done for spotting that, because I forgot.
Yeah.
It's not changed much, has it?
No, still a bit, dumping ground. I wish they'd stop it.
Yeah. There's all sorts underneath this bridge. Trolleys, tyres, a lot of rubbish, prams, suitcases. Can't understand why there's so many suitcases. Maybe somebody's changed their mind, don't want to go on holiday. Preston is the place to be. But we're not far from the tunnel itself now. Only about a minute walk, all going good. And we can make our way firmly inside. It's going to be pitch black. Legend has it that Miley Tunnel is haunted.
Yeah, well, we didn't spot anything on our prelude, did we?
No.
Coming soon.
But for those paranormal investigators amongst us, Nodrog has been on eBay and bought an EMF meter. Now, for those who don't know what an EMF meter is, as I didn't, electromagnetic field detector. And they say that when spirits make their appearance.
Well, you're the wrong side of blooming Pennines for that sort of malarkey, my mate.
Bartpool Simon's rubbed off.
Yeah, how dare he?
It changes the electromagnetic field, and when they get closer to you, then this obviously reads higher. Now, there is what they call environmental electromagnetic fields, like cables, wiring, the natural geology of the land, etc. I've had to do some research on this, but it should be evident on here if something starts to rattle. Now, theory goes, there was a young girl and a lad. He got on the train, Preston bound, and they were holding hands. He was in carriage, in the old days with slammed doors, but wind had come down, and they were holding on to each other's hands. Maybe their last farewells, who knows. But unfortunately, she slipped and she fell under the train, and that was the end of her. And that was in the infancy, the early days of the railway being up and running for passengers, a steam locomotion. What is he doing? What is he?
I've still got it. Did you get it?
No, I'll do it again then.
I used to do that at the gym all the time. I haven't got it anymore. I started doing YouTube and lost it.
We're going to get Senior Clarky on that, I think.
I'll end up having to take the painkillers if I started that caper. And if you talk as well and ask them, they apparently respond, and you see a response. I think I've turned it on now. You'll see a response. So I've never used this in practice. I have been around the house with this and measured it near the TVs.
Yeah.
And it does come up, it does show. So interesting. Oh, the phone's going off. But yeah, so he was, I think, charged for murder. So in the trial, they couldn't decipher whether he was holding on to her hand, which caused the accident. It would have been down for manslaughter then, I suppose, or she held onto his hand. And because that couldn't be decided, he was found not guilty. Well, that's justice for you, and you've got to believe in it. And that's what happened. So yeah, unfortunately, she passed away. There is meant to be more people who have fallen victim to this line. I wasn't able to clarify in the details, and I don't really want to start talking about things when they're not true. But this is an age-old story, the ghost of Miley Tunnel. Now, when we came and did the recce with Clarky here, we realised that there was actually two tunnels, but one's been covered over. Well, they've both been covered over in the middle, and we called it the cathedral.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call this, if this is right, this will be the Deepdale Tunnel.
Yeah.
And then we go into the Maudlands Tunnel.
Yeah.
But they call the whole section Miley Tunnel.
Yeah.
It was covered over, and we got the new police station built on top. We think that was covered over in the 60s.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably covered over when the electricity board built some kind of complex over it. Now Stuart, who'll probably be coming up in a blog in the future, he will be able to possibly tell us more about that. Yeah. Comment down below, please, Stuart.
Yep.
Marvellous.
Let's have your input. You might not be with us there in person, but you can in the comment section down below.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. We've made it through. It took about a good quarter of an hour, 20 minutes to get down here. Similar to last time with Clarky. That's the entrance to Miley Tunnel. So I'm going to have to put my light on now and make our way through there, but it's very exciting. My second visit to the tunnel.
chimney pie's gone.
Right, so we're going to ditch this coming.
About the refuge here.
So what
So we're going to
piece on
talk.
this?
Basically, this here
Yeah.
is where the navvies would be stood out the way of trains passing. Ensure
Basically,
that navvies
yeah.
stayed safe as trains were passing in either direction. It wouldn't be as bad these days as it's single track, but initially, like was previously alluded, it was double track, so navvies needed to get clear.
So the other train, step back into this little recess. Can we just have a look at that?
Yeah.
So you can just make out there, goes just a little, what would you say, 2 foot recess
Yeah.
in the tunnel wall.
So, how many tunnels have you been under?
Railway or...
Railway. Well, anything.
I mean, it feels like loads.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, railway, I've actually only done 2 railway tunnels. Done the mother of all railway tunnels, which was Stanage,
Brilliant, yeah.
which I've already mentioned, and there's one just further down the line from Stanage, which is completely open. I can't remember what it's called, but it took the old the line through Staley Bridge. That was a corker because at the other end of it, it had been infilled, and as you walked along it, you just got this massive mound up to the mouth of the tunnel, and you ended up walking up the mound and touching the roof of the tunnel.
Wow.
That was a corker, that one, yeah. But I feel like I've done more because I've done obviously the rivers and the
Yeah.
culverts and everything.
Yeah.
So it feels like loads, but railway tunnels, 2.
Wow, brilliant. That's more than most.
Well, yeah. 3 now. 3.
3, yeah. Miley. See, I feel a little bit guilty because I don't know much about this story. So I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't know any names, but just for fun, we thought we'd give this a bash. And I'm not too sure of the lay of the land.
Right, so we're in the tunnel. We're going to have a go at the, what's it, EMF?
EMF meter, yeah.
EMF meter. See if we can pick up any vibes.
Vibes, spiritual vibes. I don't want to be disrespectful. If anyone knows anything more about this story, then by all means comment down below. But it's been a fair time since it all happened, so I'm assuming it'd be great grandparents if you know anything. But we're going to turn this on now.
What are we listening for?
Well, it's not so much listening.
Voices.
It's voices. If I hear any voices, believe you me, I'll be off like a shot. So we'll put the light on now. Here we go. Right, so it's spooky green as well.
Is that the first time you turned it on?
I've had a bash at home, but not with the light. No,
Right,
with the
right.
light.
So let's have a look. This
So
thing here,
it's telling the temperature,
right,
which is about 11.2 degrees.
which is quite warm actually because it's quite cold
Yeah.
outside. Maybe it's just generally warmer in here.
Hang on. There you go. All the paranormal investigators now going to be laughing at me, aren't they?
Laughing at us.
If there are any spirits in Miley Tunnel, not the empty bottles, and you want to come forward and speak, or you want to give an indication that you're here, which would be really nice. We're very respectful. We don't mean any harm.
Keep still.
We're just very inquisitive. I have a little device in my left hand here that can measure you if you come close to it. And it will show a number, a few numbers, if the magnetic field changes in this tunnel, stating your presence. Maybe make a noise in the tunnel, a banging noise. Maybe make a noise in the tunnel, a banging noise. A tapping noise. There was a rapping.
I don't.
Did you not hear that?
No.
Did you hear that?
No.
9.6.
But you know
9.6.
what? No, I'm absolutely fine on these explodes. I never think about ghosts and you've got me scared now.
I wish you'd heard that. Can you do that again? Really deadly silent, sorry, really quiet. Can you do that again on these walls?
Yeah, boom. Don't think it was. I think it was outside.
Is it?
Yeah.
You try to. You
No,
try
I heard a boom, but
It's going down the temperature.
what is now?
Oh, that registered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Right. You.
Are you not happy with this?
No, it's all right. I don't mind. It's just, you know.
That registered then.
Registered what though? Is it not my light?
No, it's not on.
Is it my camera?
No.
No.
Get us in shot as well.
So I'm trying to get the machine.
No,
as well.
that there, the temperature's dropped down now to 9 degrees. It was 11.4 when we stood here a minute ago. So
Right.
it's dropped by 2 degrees, and then that went off, didn't it? You heard that, didn't you?
Yeah, it went red.
Right. I'm normally fine on these explorers. I don't get spooked. I'm normally just walk through. I'm never spooked on these, but you spooked me out now.
Are you alright to continue?
Well, I'm going to have to. From Manchester to Preston, I can't let the grey lady stop me. All due respect to her.
Right, we'll do one more time. Right.
Yeah, he demands to see this ghost.
One more time. Can you make this go off? You made it beep then. Please do it again. Just to let us know you're there. And then we'll finish. Because Mr. Zero's getting quiet. Maybe that was them saying, you can have it once and that's enough.
Yeah.
That was odd because I could hear the tapping.
Well,
Right.
you said tapping, I thought it was more of a
I'll leave it in my pocket on.
boom, that sort of thing.
It was like, to me, it
I
sounded
couldn't
like,
hear tapping.
it sounded like, oh, that's the one doing this.
Yeah, no, I can't say I heard any.
No, I didn't.
Can't say I heard any tapping like that. Can we do the ghost hunt and then we'll wait around? Does it bend to the left then?
No, I don't think it does. It might do a slightly bit. Yeah, it does do to slightly bit further down the bottom. But as we were saying before, it comes to the end of this tunnel.
It's starting to bend now, actually.
Although you're in the tunnel. Oh, yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We named it the cathedral bit because it sort of opens up, looks bigger than what it does on the photograph.
Right.
The two tunnels in one. This has been the Deepdale end, that being the Maudlands end.
So further down here, I don't know if you remember the Spanish tunnel video I did, there was an area where it all opened up called the cathedral. Well, apparently this tunnel's got the same thing, Gordon is telling me. So, I don't know exactly where it is. Ooh, is this it? I think we're here.
Yeah.
Wow, we're here. Fantastic.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's calmed down again now. Do a call out to her again, possibly, at this point.
Well, the EMF meter now and again gives a spike. Random. Temperature has dropped. Normally in tunnels, if I remember rightly, temperature tends to increase because you haven't got the wind factor, the wind chill factor. But it's sort of the high 8s, early 9 degrees. When we originally left, it was 11. But this is the cathedral bit, it'll be called. Now, I'm stood in the Deepdale tunnel. You can't see very well. But down there is the Maudland tunnel. And sometime in the 60s, when they're doing some work, massive concrete beams all went across the top. And that's where the new police station is built now. But it's quite impressive, and you can see the facade, the fascia of both tunnels in one location where the cutting was.
Use railway tunnel, and the person you come with brings a one of those EMF ghost meter things, and where you're just interested in the history and everything and just exploring, you suddenly become terrified because it's going off all the time. Help!
Shit. Got it. Must be home.
Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah. You're going to like it. That bit there where it's all opened up.
Maybe the ghost is Elvis being the king. So we just left the cathedral bit, the open bit now, walking towards Maudlands, where the tunnel bend off to the right hand side. Whereas behind us, it sort of snakes its way through. But deep under Preston, houses all sorts above us, making our way towards daylight before we go into the next tunnel, the Maudland tunnel, if I've got this right.
I don't know, but I think this next area has been massively cleaned up since we was last
Yeah,
here.
you're right. You are very, very right. They've cleared this because we had to snake our way through all this. Last time we came, no, this wasn't like this.
This was not as clear as this.
This is massive, yeah, because the ivy wouldn't grow under shelter like that, and not on this side. The ivy all down here with the buddleia. That is definitely cleared out, because this all had
Pizza boxes.
Takeaway boxes.
Coffee machines. Started again though.
Yeah. Maybe they were too scared to go in there, so we'll have an EMF meter.
We're trying to find our position. I suggest that was Fylde Road.
No, I'm saying Moor Lane.
Right, so Moor Lane. Right, Moor Lane. So what's that? What, Adelphi Street?
Yeah.
That's it, Adelphi Street. That rings a bell now. Yeah, so Adelphi Street, sorry, is this one here. Fylde Road must be a bit further up.
Right, so if you're from Preston or you want to know exactly where we are now, well, you probably do know where we are, but what we're saying, Adelphi Street?
Yeah, Adelphi Street is just in front. I think Moor Road is behind us here.
Right. Because I'm not really well up with Preston. I actually worked here in the 90s at one point. Great service, great sets, renting your colour set from Granada. Anyway, I actually worked here in the 90s, but I don't know the area very well. Wonderful cutting.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's sandstone cutting, but you've got the building here that's right on adjacent. That's right.
Yeah, look at that.
But up to it, the building that's been shoved on there, and I think above us here, so just mind your barn, your nut, because that's red brick there running across, but it's loose.
Alright.
You can't see. They've cleared it now, so you can't see. Theory has
I
it.
think there's a bit of that's a risk of falling, that wall.
It doesn't look good to me. That's why I'm staying on this side.
Yeah.
When we came down, I
It's
noticed
leaning
it.
a bit. You can't. Maybe you can see it on the camera, but that is leaning outwards a bit. There.
It is a bit.
Yeah. What's this? Foxhole.
Foxhole.
Is it?
Oh, don't know.
Neighbourhood foxhole.
I think some stonework is broken there.
Yeah.
And that's
the fox
underneath.
has exploited it somewhat.
So
this other section here, we're actually looking at another section.
smells nice down here.
So about to enter another section now, I've got the cutting here. This is the shorter section and lit. Why is it lit?
Well, I think they've lit it primarily because of the fact that it was flooding. You'll notice there's probably a pump, you'll hear a pump just ticking over.
Yeah.
And it's important obviously for them to keep this area flood free. Universities all above us here, they won't want any problems. An obligation to keep it nice and in its best optimum condition. But there is rumours when the Guild Tramway wants to get up and running that they want to use part of this line as a track test bed. And again, I've heard noise that they are clearing certain areas, so potentially this may be a start of them clearing. It could be wrong, but
Right, forgive me for being thick. Has Preston got a tramway?
no. Preston now.
So they're talking of.
They're
and This is a
talking.
possible route.
Yeah.
Right.
They're wanting to do some sort of track testing with a tram or two. I don't know how they get them down here, but
Interesting stuff.
there is a way down there.
So changes again. It could
Yeah.
change forever, and this is the record of it as it is derelict. I went in the Collier's Tunnel, years ago. I seem to think 2011, before the line was extended. The tram lines were extended north, and I went into the Collier's Tunnel. That was fascinating. And now it's Metrolink, can't go in there
Yeah.
now. But
Yeah.
I didn't take a camera, just walked through.
Show's done it within a heartbeat. Places can change so very rapidly.
Exactly. And this is beautiful. Just turning.
So down the bottom end, down near the Maudlands Bank area, the Lancaster Canal system, and they were surveying that area for a canal to to go off towards Lancaster as early as 1772. But it took about 20 years before they started to build the canal. They sort of got towards Goldgate, which is on the way to Lancaster, before they actually managed to connect it all together. But the purpose of that was to be able to get the quarry stone on the tram carts from down here and join it all up. But what is interesting, some entrepreneurs knew that West Orton, near Manchester, had a mine, a coal mine, and they thought it would be a Bobby Dazzler of an idea to use the canal system near West Orton, load it with coal, send it up to just south of Preston, and hopefully formulate a plan of getting that coal shipped out in Preston up into Lancaster as far as Kendal. Their plans are going on as far as Kendal. However, River Ribble is in the way, and that's quite a notorious river, and so they decided they wanted to build an aqueduct to go over. But the draftsman worked out they would have to have 24 locks to be able to get the canals over the River Ribble, to be able to, it's seamless to go all the way from Kendal all the way down to West Orton. Just wasn't feasible, wasn't going to work. So the tramway was installed. It was meant to be a temporary measure to start with, a tramway that was going to offload the coal or any goods that were either coming from this line or any coal from West Orton or coming back maybe as a transfer point. Hence down there here at the Moorland Banks area there was a transfer point, a canal transfer point. And you can't really see much evidence of that now as it's all been developed over. So we'll make our way down here. We'll have little butchers and see what's left.
You bigger. Right. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That looks cool. That's as cool as.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Lights up the little sensors, light sensors, look sensors down the bottom of the tunnel. Makes it look pretty. Just in front, in theory, we've probably got the road names wrong, but we're not far off. Moore Street is definitely behind us, then the Delphi Street. Fylde Road is behind us, eh?
Fylde Road is behind us, yeah.
That's Fylde Road.
Ships and Giggles, that's Pollard Street.
Pollard Street. Right, which will be running along Magdalen Road. No Magdalen Roads over there. I was mentioning before about the tramway, the temporary tramway. If I remember rightly with the dates, that goes back as far as 1804. Temporary it was meant to be because they were determined to get across the River Ribble with the viaduct. But like I said, it proved a little bit fruitless, a bit hard work for them to achieve that. I've just dropped my notes. Into some mud. Yeah, there was going to be like 24 or 25, 27 locks that will be around the aqueduct, which there is an aqueduct street down the other side of Preston. The Avenham Park have an Avenham Park bridge, which was a tramway bridge that goes across the River Ribble. It is there, and that's been there a long time as part of the feature itself. However, that's going to disrepair, and there's a chance that might be pulled down now and replaced with something a little bit more sturdy. It used to be a footbridge that you could go across with, but we can't do that now. We'd have to replace it rather than repair it. Now, you'd be interested to know, underneath us here is the Lancaster Canal.
Right.
And all this area around here was the transfer point, the docks point. All this building here, UCLan, all around here. It's all been developed over, a lot of it. If you look at some of the old pictures on the internet, it's actually stunning to see what was there then compared to what there is now. Right. Behind us on this we've got Dalham Warrington's 1883, which was the forge. So 1883, it says on this bridge, is we've got 1864 when the canals were leased to the Leeds Liverpool Canal Trust business. And then 1883 they built this over for the railway line. This would never have been here when the canals were joined via the aqueduct. Behind us, a bit later on, when they developed the railway line even further, they wanted to get, as I was saying before, they wanted to get goods to Fleetwood along the tracks. The bridge to my right hand side was the first bridge that was built And subtly, with the eagle eye, the two arches to my left were added later on. I'll mention the dates in a second. And them lines then went into Preston Station. So this line that went to Fleetwood was never connected to Preston Station to start with. It just went straight into Fleetwood. And they had bold, ambitious plans to connect the line from Fleetwood via Preston all the way in that direction towards Hellifield in Yorkshire. And this was going to be, all the way to Yorkshire, and this was going to be a massive transport route with for freight trains later on in the years for it all to be connected. About 3 times they tried to come up with plans. In fact, the latter time they were quite keen to get on with the job and have it finalised, but that never materialised. But this line was already destined to lose its freight traffic sometime in the future anyway. I'm going to take a risk. I've got the camera on the monopod. I've made sure everything's tightly packed on, but I'm going to put it over, right over, to see the water. There's like a pool of water on that side where the bridges are. Wish us luck. So very nervous doing that. I didn't want to lose the camera. Well, now I'm going to go over to the other side where the 2 Martins are and have a look in the opposite direction, because there's definitely evidence of the canal system there.
Yeah, effectively they've infilled it from here back round to Aqueduct Street, where the actual new terminus.
I have to have one of them.
New terminus of the line, the new terminus of the canal now is.
Right.
It was infilled, I'm guessing, a long time ago, because obviously the uni and various other businesses are built on the old canal route. But it did ultimately go, I think, towards Preston Station, I believe.
Yeah.
So here we go, history, get ready now for the Preston and Longridge Railway. It was established in 1836 to build a tramway from Tootle Heights, which is right up there, it was a quarry, all the way down to Preston. The 6.5 mile line opened on the 1st of May 1840 with basic passenger facilities at Longridge, Grimsargh and Deepdale Station. That's where it ended at first. Passenger type wagons, as I mentioned before, were a little bit crude. It was done by gravity coming the way down. Hold on, biting nail business. And then they adapted the line to steam workings to haul the trains, which started on Whit Monday, I think 1848, and 1850 around that time they doubled the track. An extension was built connecting to the existing line a few hundred yards just east of Deepdale Station, which was the street's terminus there. The line passed via 862 yards of tunnel under the north part of Preston and connected to the Preston and Wyre Joint Railway, very close to that line's original terminus at Magdalens, which is in this area here. The extension was initially used though for goods only. Now in 1856, Fleetwood and Preston West Riding Company Junction Railway bought the line, the whole lot through Miley Tunnel, and it was open to passengers as a full-time scheme. New stations at each end, including Deepdale Bridge and on Deepdale Road, and then Magdalens Bridge. The original Deepdale Station Street's terminus was closed to passengers though, but continued to be used for goods. In 1886, the plan was to extend the line to Yorkshire, which has been reviewed so many times by the Midland Railway, but it just never happened, it never got off the ground. The line eventually was joint owned by the Lancaster and Yorkshire Railway, and then eventually in 1885, Magdalen Bridge Station was closed to passengers, so it didn't last very long. And the adjacent London North Western Railway main line to Preston Station was connecting, which then eventually allowed connections to run either way along the railway for the first time. This is what I was saying before about the bridges just to my right hand side. The first bridge, road bridge to my right hand side, was what took you off to Fleetwood. Then the 2 extra ones that were put on there, which were forged and built by 2 separate entities, connected into Preston Central Station, what now is known as Preston Station. In 1918, there was another plan to extend the railway again from Longridge to Yorkshire along the Loud and Holler Valley lines, which went through Wigglesworth and then onto Hellifield, but that then got scrapped. Eventually, with the popularity of the railways and then the popularity of the bus services from Longridge, it sort of finished the business for the railway line itself. passenger traffic actually finished as early as somewhere around the 30s. Freight traffic continued a little longer into the 60s, and then they had the odd working, I think coal workings that used to go up the line and back. I think, if I'm right, anything up to as late as 1990, there's some pictures of that being shown. The docklands were already developed on, all this area had all gone. You wouldn't even think that it existed today. What's going to happen for the future? A lot of investment is going into the canal works. Well, they got the Loon Aqueduct at Lancaster, and only a few years ago they spent a lot of money on that, doing that all up and getting it back into business. The canal does come quite far south towards Preston. There is noise that I've read on the internet that some people would like to get this area all cleaned up and looking pretty again, and maybe using it as a stabling point for your canal boats. Anything's possible in this country. Happy days, there we go. We brought that to an end. I hope it was informative. The official Miley vlog with the two Martins and Nodrog. Me, Miley and Martin.
MGM.
Squared.
MGM squared, yeah.
Me, Miley, Martin.
And it was nice to come down here again. There is a vlog with Clarky and I on it. That's going to go out maybe a couple of weeks afterwards of our risk assessment. So you'll get two there, double bubble for your money. There's been a lot of excitement over this Miley tunnel business. Have you enjoyed it?
It's been brilliant,
Yeah.
amazing, yeah. I love anything like this, and I think your knowledge really has brought it a bit more to life.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
I'll take some credit there.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good. I'm
It's
glad.
good to have local knowledge in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't go wrong with that. But it's. Is it the longest one? Do you think you've done?
No, Stanage.
Stanage, definitely.
Stanage
yeah.
was 3.5 mile out.
Wow.
And then an exhausting 3.5 mile walk back.
Right.
So it's 7 mile all in all.
And that was all under and amongst everything.
Well, we took ages going out because there's all the stuff to see, all the shafts
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
But we stomped it back because we'd had enough by then.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll make headway on the way back. This is photography time. Video in, photo out. But cheers anyway. Thank you very much, Martin.
Yes, thank you very much
Yeah.
for bringing me. Thank you, Martin.
No problem.
Great to be
Yeah.
I'll have to drag you out another time somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I'm open to anything like this. It's brilliant.
Now, normally at this point, whoever I'm with, I get them to help me sign out, whether it's Blackpool Simon or Clarky. And my sign out is until next time. Ta-ra. So,
Yeah.
Right.
do you want to do the honours?
What do I say? Until next time, ta-ra.
Until next time, ta-ra, because ta-ra's very sort of, northern. Yeah. So, from Martin and I,
Until next time, ta-ra.
he nailed it first time.
Yeah.
He's still learning. He's still learning. Oh dear.
Right, let's do that.
There we go.